Hey everybody, it's Jose Laya. We hope you're doing well. The first quarter of 2025 for the real estate market is in the books. And today we're looking at single family homes in South Beach, Miami Beach. Since the beginning of this year, we've started to do our market updates focusing on each neighborhood as a single video to allow you to really hone in on the neighborhood of your choice. Whether you currently live there and want to see how the market is doing or are considering buying there, we want to be able to put the information in your hands in a quick and easy way. We are also taking a look at a lot more data to be able to give you more details and information as to how the market is doing. We're also going to give you a breakdown of all the sales data, including active listings for sale, closed sales. We're also going to dive a bit deeper to see what price range most of this activity is taking place in. And then we'll wrap things up with our market summary. We have a lot to cover, so let's jump right in. So here's our first graph for single family homes for South Beach for the first quarter of 2025. We will say you're going to see some numbers in black, some numbers in light blue. We do that in neighborhoods that have dry lots and non-waterfront homes and waterfront homes. The light blue are the waterfront homes. We did that because there's always a huge disparity in pricing between the two, and we just want to highlight that for you. So let's take a look at the numbers. And if we look at the first section, active listings, they jumped from 64 to 71. That's not too much. Closed sales remain the same from February to March, but a concern is that look at January. In January, there was 9 closed sales for the month, and then it slowed down. It went to 3 and then stayed at 3 again. That's why months of supply, look at that huge increase from January to February and even in March. It went from 7 months of supply to over 20. You're looking at 22 and now 25 months of supply. That's not good. Days on market, look at that huge increase, not only from January to February, but then February to March. We're now looking at 232 days for dry lots, 160 days for waterfront property. Median price per square foot, $11.85 and $27.80. Both went down from the previous month, as well as the median price sold went down as well from $2 million to $2,150,000 and $14,557,000, which are down from the month before and from even January as well. So from what we can see here right now, the numbers don't look good for the single family housing market in South Beach. Let's jump to our next graph to take a look at what price range most of this activity is taking place in to see if we can spot any trends. Let's take a look. So here we have our next graph. Let's jump right into the numbers and look at the active listings. This, of course, only happens in South Beach. There's 71 active listings. We ended the quarter with 71 active listings. 27 of them are dry lots. 44 are waterfront homes. There's a lot, almost double the available waterfront homes, and there are dry lots only in South Beach. There was 15 closed sales in total for the first quarter. The breakdown's split pretty evenly, 7 and 8 months of supply. There's only 12 months of supply for dry lots just because there's not many of them. And then there's about 25 months of supply for waterfront homes, which we put it at about 19 months of supply. To give you some context, 6 to 9 months is considered a balanced market or normal market. So 19 months is pretty high. So let's now look at the price ranges to see where most of the activity is taking place in. Obviously, that first at $1 million and under, there's no activity. So it means there's no single family homes for sale in South Beach under $1 million. This is pretty interesting. This is actually the first neighborhood that we cover where we see the number of closed sales pretty evenly in every price range. Look at this. Out of the 15 closed sales for the quarter, look how they're broken down. From 1 to 3 million, 3. 3 to 5, 2. 5 to 10, 4. 10 to 23, and then 20 million plus 3. That's the only neighborhood that we cover that the closed sales Were that evenly spread out in every single price range, even at above $20 million. That really goes to show you the strength, the popularity of homes on South Beach. Another interesting thing to note, out of the 44 active listings that are waterfront homes, look at this, 40 of them are priced at 10 million plus. That's pretty extraordinary when you come to think about it. I mean, I grew up, running around the streets of South Beach. So for me, that really is extraordinary to see these huge numbers for all these homes. So that's for the waterfront homes. Now for the dry lots, we have to say there's only 27 homes listed for sale. And out of the 27, I mean, look at this, pretty much a little more than half of them are 5 million and under. The other half are at 5 million and over. So if your budget is 5 million, you pretty much have 15 homes to look through. That's not a lot. Obviously favors sellers. For buyers, given the low levels of inventory for sale, we suggest if you do find a home that you like, make an offer on it right away. It's crazy to say that there's actually more inventory over $5 million than there is below 5 million. If you're a seller in this market, you do have the advantage as inventory is very, very low, especially as you can see at the 5 million and under price range. There's just not much for buyers to sort through. So you will have the advantage. It may take you a little bit longer to sell in this environment, but you can, the numbers show you can hold on to your price and you'll probably get it, just given the low levels of inventory that we can see here. So now that we've gone through the numbers, let's jump into our market summary. So in summary, while the single family homes in the South Beach started the year strong, we're starting to see some signs of a slowing market. We did see active listings, especially for waterfront homes, shoot up month over month, especially at the $20 million plus price range. We did see sales go down and months of supply up, as well as days on market, while median price per square foot and median price sold also decreased. These are all key indicators that are pointing to a slowdown. However, we do find that at 5 million and under, there's just hardly any inventory for sale for single family homes in South Beach. At 5 million plus, there's a lot more to sort through. However, we did see sales slow down a bit. So we're getting some mixed signals here. Inventory is very low. However, sales seem to be slowing down, which is coming at a really bad time, as right now there's so much uncertainty in the world with these trade wars going on due to the tariffs, which is causing a very volatile stock market, very volatile interest rate environment. And this is not just here in Miami or in Florida, but it's a global thing that's going on right now. All those economic headwinds for certain are going to negatively impact the real estate market here for the month of April and for the second quarter, and maybe even for the entire year of 2025. We really don't know. There's just too much uncertainty for us to be able to see all through that, especially given the fact that it's a global thing that's going on, not just concentrated in one area or one sector. It's affecting the real estate market in general, and we'd say, the world in general. It's just something we're gonna have to stay tuned to see how it all pans out. Well, that's our first quarter of 2025 real estate market update for single family homes in South Beach. I am Jose Laya. I was born and raised right here in Miami. And as I start my 19th year in the real estate market, I can proudly say that our goal in making these videos is to provide you with value and help as many people as we can by sharing real market data to give you a better insight into the local market. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.